All right. Here's a quick down and dirty on how to get a handle on loading NAM models. A quick note for you. You cannot load full rigs from Tone 3000 into the Lava with our current version. I understand that'll come later, but at the moment it's just amp heads. So for those asking that question, there's your answer. I'm going to select new preset. Comes up with nothing. See where it says add the amp? I'm going to click on that. Comes up at the top. You have all these options. NAM is at the far right. So I'm going to click NAM. It comes up. There's already some loaded in here, some that I've put in or some that were the samples. I'm going to click Discover More at the bottom right. It comes up and you see you've got two options, well three, local NAM files, which I've already loaded on there, along with, there's a demo folder somewhere on here at the bottom, I think, demos, and that's what they've put in there for you. I'm going to click here in just a minute, I'm going to click Import from Tone 3000. It is possible the first time you do this, it's going to ask you for an email address to send a magic link to. I can't duplicate it because I've already done it. That magic link, the way Tone 3000 works, you just punch in your email, they send that link to your email, you click it, it lets you in. Since I did that, I've never had it ask me again on the Lava, so maybe it will, maybe it won't, I'm not sure. Click Import from Tone 3000. You see it redirects and it comes up. You notice it says Amp Head NAM. That's just the way it is. Right now we can only get amp heads. So I can scroll on the left. I can select makes and models. Let's take a look at, I want a Bogner. So I'm going to select Bogner. It filters them for me. I think I've already downloaded some of these, so I'll scroll up a little bit. And I'll pick the Goldfinger here. Goes to the next page, see the blue box. I'm going to click the blue box. It's going to let me, it's telling me you're only downloading an amp head and you need an IR or an impulse response, which I'll show you that in a minute. So continue download, does its thing. A lot of these are packs, and so you see it's got downloading with a circle that has a little red dot. I'm gonna go ahead and click into the folder. It may be, yeah, it was still downloading some of the others. I'm just gonna pick the very first one because that was a pack. You know, people will record these things at different levels because a capture is a snapshot of whatever settings I have right now, how it sounds right now. I put a microphone in front of the cab and I capture a sweep or a sound, and that's what is used to create the NAM capture. So that's why they sound different. It depends on what cabinet they were playing through. It depends on what microphone they were using. In the case of amp heads only, it might have been a direct input. So it depends on what kind of input device they were using. Did they run it through a signal chain? That's why there's so much variation with neural amp models on NAM. It isn't that some are good and some stink, like some people will say. And I guess there's some that aren't very good out there. But there's just a lot of variation, and that's why you read the description. The one I picked, Bogner Goldfinger, clean, minus 10 dB, 10K. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they give you some information. All right, I'm going to click Done. You see it loaded, Bogner Goldfinger. You Also notice it sounds terrible. I'm going to click over here. You see, now I have, if I click the three dots here, I think top right, come on. See how it says auto cab? I have mine turned off. I don't want it changing my cab every time I change an amp. If auto cab was on, I'm not exactly sure. It might automatically load the IR loader in the cab position. I'm not sure. Try it either way. But I don't have a cab, and so with just an amp head and no cab, it's going to sound terrible. It's real brittle. I mean, that's normal. So I'm going to select cab. I'm going to add the cab. I'm going to select it in the top here. It says all bass guitar. I'm going to pick IR loader. The name of the last impulse response I used is still in there. You see that at the top. But I'm going to go ahead and select IR loader. Bottom right says my IRs. Now, I've loaded a bunch of IRs, or a handful of IRs in here. If you want to load some different than what the demos are, you have to do it on your computer, as far as I know. You can Google, you can search the internet. There are free impulse responses all over the place. If you go to look on the Facebook forum, other posts I've put, I gave a link to some free impulse responses that are out there, and I think they're really good. But you would download those impulse responses, you would put them, log into Lava Cloud on your computer, upload those files into the folder that says, either says IR or impulse response. So now I can click import from Lava Cloud, and those are all the ones that I have loaded up in the cloud. The ones that are not grayed out, I haven't downloaded yet. So I've got some out there that I haven't used, I haven't selected. So if I wanted to, I could pick this one here. Now these are paid. I bought these. So I just picked that last one, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to say done. And so now you see it's showing the name of that impulse response that I loaded. So I'm going to click up at the top on cab. Now it doesn't sound harsh and brittle because it has a cabinet. So that's what an impulse response is. If you're going to use NAMM, right now with the Lava, you have to use an impulse response. Again, I could click switch, go to the IR loader, my IRs. I don't even have to load anything. I can go down to demos. They have given you some pretty decent ones. We got an Eminence, we've got a Mesa, Deluxe Reverb. Let's see, what am I playing, a Bogner? Let me try this Mesa. I'll just select it. And so now, and I don't know if you're paying attention, but it's a different sound. I mean, each impulse response you use is going to be different because, I mean, it'd be like being in your room. Let's say you have a Marshall head, and you have a 412 Mesa cab, you have a 112 Marshall with Celestions in it, you have a 410 with Jensen's Alnico Blues, or something like that, and you take that Marshall head and you plug it into each one of those cabinets. Well, it's going to sound different based on the cabinet that you put it in. So every impulse response that you select is going to affect your sound. And I submit to you the two most important things with electric guitar that are going to affect your sound the most are going to be your pickups and the speaker. I mean, if you have a Fender amp head and the gain is matched to a Marshall amp head, and you use the same impulse response and you go back and forth, I mean, it's going to sound a little different, but it ain't going to be major. You can get a lot of change by swapping to different IRs. I don't think I have anything drastically different in here, but let's go back to their demos. Let me put in the Celestion V30. Go back to their, put in their deluxe reverb. So anyway, there's NAMM and impulse responses for somebody if you don't never done this before. That's how we do it. So I hope this video helps you. Again, I'm just a regular home player, so have a good day.